PvE got you down? Try 3v3 for men. Ask your physician if 3v3 men is right for you. Batteries not included. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Still Has a Cold, but is dedicated to bringing you fresh new content daily. And honestly, I might take a break after this. I just wanted to get these out before GAC lock was all the way upon us, so you guys can make changes to your rosters and everything. And especially people who, my main account is just frankly a really big account, and my alternate account is much more approachable for a lot of people. I know that it's still not going to be super approachable to everyone, but at 7.7 million GP, I think it's going to be a lot more accessible to people. I only have 2 GLs, but I do float around in Kyber 2 mostly. I do make small forays into Kyber 1 every once in a while, and I'm beating people with 6 Galactic Legends pretty consistently. Last time I faced a 4 GL opponent, I beat him pretty badly. And the time before that, and the time before that, it's 5 and 6 where it starts getting tricky, and that's usually where I float around. So, that being said, 3v3, we've got a lot of work to do here. It's going to be really rough, so let's get to it, shall we? Whoa, madness. We're in the game, and I'm apparently 7.8 million. I'm a liar. Oh, it's because I unlocked profundity recently. That's what's going on. Now, folks, you'll have to forgive me. I'm probably not going to be as, robust in my description of all of these teams as I normally am, because I don't know how long my voice can last, frankly. So we're going to get through this. I want to make sure I explain this to you guys, though, because it's been, 5 months, 4 months, something like that, since I put out one of these. Someone accusing me of never putting out alt videos is crazy. I took 1 month off, guys. 1 3v3, that's all it is. Okay, so I know that the thumbnail says basic, and then you see 2 Galactic Legends, and I mean, here's the thing, guys. It's as basic as I can make it. Okay, for me, I have 2 GLs. I have the 2 Jedi Galactic Legends, and keep in mind, in 3v3, we're gonna be on offense quite a bit. Obviously, we're gonna be on offense half the time, but we're going to be stacking our offense quite a bit because we need to be able to beat all the opponent's teams, and if we can beat them, if we can score more points than them, it doesn't matter how many GLs they have, we still win. Otherwise, they just smush us flat most times. If we try to go heavy defense, they still have enough teams. I'm facing people with 2 million more GP. They absolutely have more teams. They have enough to just destroy me. And so we're going to try to be efficient here. To that end, this Jedi Master Luke team, I mean, here's the thing, guys. You've got to kind of determine what you're up against, right? If you want to scout, that's going to help you a lot. I don't scout on my account, and I actually don't even change my defenses. I think last 3v3 I went either 5 and 4 or 6 and 3. So, I did pretty well last 3v3 on this account, even though I had to kill Lord Vader every time. It still worked. So we don't have that. We don't have the counter to Lord Vader anymore because we don't have datacrons available to us that'll help us for that. But we might be able to figure something out. So Jedi Master Luke, I mean, you probably need to use him to kill a Galactic Legend for the most part. He's not going to take out Lord Vader very easily. He might kill the ads if you're desperate. I like this build for him. You can go a little weaker if you wanted to. I like Grandmaster Yoda just because you can call him to assist so much between all of these guys. And when you're not using Jedi Master Luke's leadership ability to call Yoda to assist, then they each have their own independent calls to assist as well, which is really nice. And then this team is decent. They go off of the Relic 9 on Jedi Master Luke's protection, and you should be good to go. You too may pass go and collect $2,000 or whatever inflation is allowing us to collect these days. We have Jedi Master Kenobi, and this is probably the ideal version of this. I mean, sometimes, though, you can swap out for Mace instead of General Kenobi, just because Mace lets you take out teams with a lot of stealth components. Like if you want to take out a Rey team, for instance, with Hoda's going to be in stealth until Mace takes a turn, and then Mace goes and he's like, oh, hey, what's up, little green guy? We're going to destroy you. We will end you. and Grogu will shoot lightning at him, and it'll be like this whole weird episode 3 quasi reenactment. It'll be strange, but the thing is, Kat will be there, and she will slice Hoda's face off, and that'll be real satisfying for everyone. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, General Kenobi, you can put him with, like, Padme if you want, I guess, if you wanted to do that team. A lot of times you can fake people out using a Padme team with General Kenobi and Padme and, like, Mace, for instance. But then, of course, you don't have a tank to go with the team, so there's also that. I mean, the other option is you could make that team and then go with Kenobi and Kat, and then when you need a tank, just take, like, a Gear 11 tank, and you know, he'll take all the aggro, because he'll pre-taunt still, a Galactic Republic tank, like Plo, or Elf Jedi, or something like that. Excuse me, folks, I sound like a 12-year-old. I apologize. No offense to any 12-year-olds, but, yeah, like, you don't really need datacrons for this team either. This is probably going to be the team that I use to kill the ads on Lord Vader. I know that it's expensive, but I don't know what else I can really rely on. This team will kill both ads on a Lord Vader team, and then they will not kill Lord Vader. You have to clean it up with probably bounty hunters or something like that. Pretty gross, I realize, but that's just them's the breaks, folks. Okay, so this team that I think it should go on defense if you have the mods to spare to make it good. Now, that means you have to outrun your opponent's Bad Batch Echo. That sounds random, but if you can, all 3 of them have to. If you can, then you're going to be good to go. Ideally, you want Qui-Gon to go first, and then Ki-Adi-Mundi, and then Jedi Knight Anakin. Remember, though, it sounds like a tall order because none of these guys are naturally fast. However, you got a lot of boosts here. You got the leadership boost from Qui-Gon giving everyone 30. You've got the Zeta boost from Ki-Adi-Mundi giving everyone 30. And Ki-Adi-Mundi gives himself, with his stance, the sneakiest plus 20 speed in the game. No one expects it. It's like the Spanish Inquisition, folks. And so Ki-Adi-Mundi is a plus 80. Everyone else is a plus 60. And so for speeds, I'll just show you guys here. You want Qui-Gon to go first. So 309, that makes him 369. Oh, I could have just gone into the next profile, couldn't I have? My bad. We'll do that for the next one. Ki-Adi-Mundi is at 280. So he's going to be plus 80. He's going to be at 260 speed. And then Anakin is going to be just lower than that, plus 60 makes him at 358. So yes, I want to make them all faster eventually, but I'm good to go against a Bad Batch team that has a 357 Echo or lower, and that to some of you that may sound like enough, but where my main account lives, Echo is 360 by default, if not 372. Like, it gets ridiculous. So my main has a significantly faster team as well. And anyways, Jedi Revan here. So the reason I'm showing you all these Jedi to start with, guys, is the entire premise of my offense is to be flexible. Now, this Qui-Gon team, if you don't have the right mods to make them fast enough, you don't want to put that investment in. Remember, you need the Omicron from Qui-Gon as well there. But once you do, if you don't have that squad, you can kind of just disperse them, or you can use that team on offense. But you can take, like, Ki-Adi-Mundi off if you wanted to. You know, he really loves being with Jedi Master Luke, honestly. He loves being with Basti, being with her, you know what I mean. But he also really likes, he likes all of these teams. And similarly, like, one of my very favorite teams, folks, is a Basti squad with Hermit Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi, just because Ki-Adi-Mundi gets the bonus, he gets the bonus 15% turn meter from Basti, and then he, plus 20 from his stance as well. And then if Hoda's fast, like, he's gonna get Ki-Adi-Mundi's gonna get a lot of hits in a row, and he hits like a truck. I know someone recently told me that that's a very cringe metaphor. I'm like, how's that cringe? What other ways do trucks hit? They're like, that guy taps like a truck. I don't know. Just made me laugh. Okay, so what we have left over here at the end is just some of the weird, like, none of these characters are bad, but you don't necessarily need, you don't need to have this squad. I think this would be a fine squad, but what I'm really getting at, folks, is you need your entire team to be kind of just flexible. You need to take what you need when you need it, and the only way you can really tell what you need is by watching all of my alt videos. Just watch all of them, and just loop them. Just like all the clicks, watch all the ads, all the things. Sign up for my Patreon, donate on Twitch, all that stuff. That's the only way you can truly know for sure how to. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna use the excuse that I'm sick and I'm addled in the wits. But please do sign up for all of those things if you want to. And honestly, you do see me on stream and then in the subsequent YouTube videos doing exactly what I just said, like problem solving and mix and matching and eventually getting there. So we have General Skywalker here. The best version of him by far is going to be the Rex and Fives version. Now they're not as high relics as I would like, of course, but they still do the trick. You want to remember that Rex is fast, but he's not as fast as he usually is. He's only getting 12% extra speed for his squad because he doesn't have 2 extra 501st members. Now, this squad is great on defense. I love this team on defense because even though people are saying that Inquisition beat it pretty easily, I'm not that convinced, actually, folks. One thing to consider here, as I squeak along, take a coughing break here. One thing to consider, folks, dear Lord, take a coughing break and I squeak immediately, is Malgus is now not going to have the Datacron to go with him, and so General Skywalker might have legs against Malgus. Now, 3v3 that might work. In 5v5, it's still pretty dicey, even in territory wars where Malgus doesn't get to use his Omicrons, and so General Skywalker might have legs against Malgus. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to figure that out because I might take these guys for offense this season. I'm not 100% sure. They'll start on defense, but once I see evidence that they work against Malgus, I might just pull them and put something else of interest, of note on defense. Now, Admiral Raddis here, the Raddis himself, keep in mind, okay, so if you have a Rogue One tank, then this team can go on defense for you. It still works okay as a team on defense if you don't have a tank, but remember, you don't want to give them free access, easy access to AdRad, and I think the best tank is probably going to be K2. On this account, all I have is Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, and you want Jinn, of course. If you want, the Omicron is pretty good. 3v3, he is so good on defense, guys. You just need a tank, and you want it to be relicked. And so, I don't know what to tell you, though. None of the tanks are a requirement anymore, and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder suddenly doesn't really need to be relicked, because Biston's ship is not the best Rebel ship anymore. So, well, I mean, Falcon always was, but, like, the best, I don't know, non-discussed kind of, like, support ship, I should say. The one, anyways, this is a really good team on offense. It takes out, like, Iden squads, for instance. Okay, we're going to try to speak a little bit lower. Maybe that will help with all of the preposterous squeaking, folks. Okay, so we've got Mace with Candorus and Wat. And keep in mind, if you want to get Maul his barrage of hits, he's got to take 2 turns to be able to get there. Wat gets you there first because he starts with Frenzy. And what happens is he does a special. Frenzy triggers, Maul gets a turn, he does his AoE, Candorus assists, and then Candorus gains a bunch of turn meter and is able to then take his turn, hopefully, presumably before your opponent. Keep in mind, though, with the usual barrage of assists and everything from Candorus, or from the 5-man team, Candorus can be really slow. In 3v3, he needs to be significantly faster for this to work. And So, yeah, put some faster mods on him, and it almost doesn't matter. Like, put offense mods on, but if you want, just put speed. Make sure he's fast enough so that Maul can go, and he's the real killer. Okay, so next up, I have a team that I don't know what to expect. I don't really use Jedi Training Rey for much. She was a requirement for Jedi Master Luke, and then I don't have resistance. I don't have good resistance, and so I've been working on BB-8 just because Sarah probably has bludgeoned me enough times to try to work on BB-8. But I want to try this squad. If you don't have Ben Solo, that's fine. Put R2-D2 here instead. But I want to see what Ben Solo does with Rey on defense and on offense. We'll be exploring both sides. I don't have any Omicrons on him yet. I haven't decided. I might throw one on him right before. I mean, and because he's with Rey, he might actually get one that isn't just the hits underneath armor. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. But he could take an Omicron. I want to see where this squad goes. Like I said, put R2-D2 with them instead if you want. And, push play. Next we have CLS and company, his accompanying C-3POs, which is a fate I would not wish on anyone. Now this squad can go on offense or defense. On offense, it can actually do okay against General Skywalker's as a potential off-meta counter. You definitely need to make sure that you have enough tenacity on all three of them so that they don't get dazed. And remember, with the current Datacron set 5, a lot of people are going to be putting a lot of potency on their General Skywalkers, so you want enough tenacity to match if possible. And otherwise, I mean, this team is good on defense too. It gets taken out by most Iden teams, to be honest, but it holds its own, and sometimes it'll surprise Iden. It's not a 100% counter from Iden, so this used to be one of the best defensive teams out there, to be honest. It can still surprise some people. Okay, next we have the Darth Vader team. So a lot of times, if you have the Datacron for Darth Vader that lets him revive and lets him have an endless loop, you don't really need Thrawn or TIE Fighter Pilot. Now, I do like to put them on this team sometimes. Keep in mind, you don't want the TIE Fighter Pilot Omicron for this particular build. Like, you could, if you have that TIE Fighter Pilot Cron, you need him to be Relic 7 first off. I actually have that Cron. I just don't have the relics to spare for him right now, the relic materials. So anyways, I like this team just because it's part of an infrastructure to get Darth Vader going. Keep in mind, my Grand Admiral Thrawn will not let Darth Vader work the way he wants to because he doesn't allow that Datacron, because Grand Admiral Thrawn is relic 0. He would need to be 5 in order for Darth Vader to work. But if that doesn't work, this team is not really that great, frankly. It can do some okay things, I guess, but you will probably want to disperse the team out. Use them with Starkiller, use them with other good characters. Thrawn can go with like Traya and Nihilus to good effect. That's probably one of my favorite stand-in squads because my sign is only gear 10, etc. And not to mention with Thrawn on the team, with Thrawn on the team, as I squeak, with Thrawn on the team, he's able to heal your protection to the point you get max banners against a lot of teams like Padme. So, okay. In 5v5, we used troopers to kill Lord Vader. That's not going to happen in 3s, unfortunately. So, we're back to our regular duties. If you had your team remodded to have Iden faster than Piet, you could have them swap mods again if you wanted to. I haven't done that yet on this account, but as long as your Piet plus 20 is faster than your opponent, and I mean, this team does really well, and it kind of got a timeout for a long time with the set 2 Datacrons because everyone was placing the plus 25% turn meter crons on their defensive squads on light side, so this team didn't really have many legs. Now, we're kind of unshackled and able to go. I would highly recommend actually getting Piet faster again if you had him slower in the first place, but get him fast enough so that you can start taking out bounty hunter teams. People are going to be putting down fast bounty hunter teams again, and it's going to be really helpful to have this squad to neutralize them for max banners where possible. Okay, so now we can get to the Sith splits a little bit. Darth Malgus, I do have, I think for this account we're going to experiment with not having him with Darth Revan and Basti, just because Malak and Talon can go really well with Malgus, and I don't have a Sith Eternal to worry about putting with like Darth Talon or Malak or whatever, so we're good there. I don't know, without the Datacron on Malgus and without the crazy armor, I don't know. I'm considering putting Relic 8 on him just to make him a little more tanky, but I don't know if that's worth the investment on this account, frankly. That does leave Darth Revan and Basti, and I do have a really fast Darth Revan. I probably should just slow him down. Like, I think other people could use his speed better, but one of the faster Darth Revans out there. Obviously not the fastest, but one of the probably the fastest speed set on this account. And if you can get out in front of someone and fear them all, like this team is really good at getting just using a duo. It's not a solo, but they can still do some good work and take a lot of teams out. Now, let's actually transfer this team down below a little bit. Okay, transfer done. We'll talk about the BAM team when we talk about Bounty Hunters. So we have the Mothra team without the cool set 2 Datacron. She's going to have a coming back to Earth incident, and I don't know how I'm going to use her. Probably on offense, and she's probably going to just pick on like Bounty Hunters, something like that. She can also finish off certain Galactic Legends sometimes. If I did that, I would probably use Kyle Katarn, and then probably against Galactic Legends, Cara Dune doesn't do that much, at least not at this Relic level. I would rather probably have like either POW or Hoth Rebel Soldier, though those are both Gear 12 on this account as well. This team isn't the powerhouse in 3v3 that it has been in the past. However, this team can still kill General Grievous squads like a boss. Really easy, actually. Speaking of General Grievous, he's probably the most awkward character in 3v3 versus 5v5. 5v5, you always find a use for him. He's very useful. High utility everywhere. Has a use in a ton of different places. In 3v3, he just kind of gets eaten up for max banners a lot of times. Like Wampa takes him out if he's on defense, but if he's on offense, sometimes he can kill like a sortie squad. But I don't know. You want B1 to go with Nute almost always, so he gets the leftovers. He'll probably be on defense on this account because I just need characters that can maybe steal some banners, so that because we're playing as high efficiency as we can. So yeah, I'll probably give B2 some relics at some point so we can actually put a Datacron on them. Really want to find if you can find a set 5 one with a bunch of health on Grievous. I would really love to see the footage of him just destroying people with 100% extra health. I would love to see that. That's one of my dreams, folks. Make that dream happen. Make my dream happen for me, please. Now, we have the Dash team, and I do have the Datacron for that, the set 4-1, and that's why I geared up Vander and young Lando. Remember, folks, this account kind of chases Datacrons a little bit. I mean, it's kind of hard to do that right now with the current set 5. I don't have anything that's relevant to making this account OP in set 5, but in set 4 I could chase Darth Vader and Dash, and so that's what I did. And that meant gearing up non-requirement characters like Vander and young Lando. These guys will be able to take out Jedi Master Luke teams and Jedi Master Kenobi teams. Believe it or not, this team will beat it. Kat does not, for some reason, target Vander in her initial Force Leap, which is the auto kill. And after that, game's on. Young Lando can stealth Vander, and Dash keeps getting a lot of turns, and it's all good, guys. They can take out Adrad. If you don't have the Datacron, it still takes out Adrad, still takes out a lot of teams, folks. Though if you want to be sneaky, if you don't have the Datacron, you could always put like Han and Chewie with them on defense. That's always a good time. Wampa, it kills General Grievous. Sometimes, opportunistically, it'll kill an Iden team, or it will kill a Sith Eternal squad even. One of the best investments you can have, guys, is the Wampa Omicron. Honestly, like, he just keeps being relevant, even in 5v5, even at the top 50 level. Like, I keep using Wampa, keep finding uses for him. So, yeah, just pure joy. Relic 5, give him some tenacity, and womp your way through everything. Now, here is the conundrum for Shaak T and her clone minions. Shaak T and her clones never get holds, folks. I mean, I think they kept surprising me last season. Actually, they got a few 3v3 holds, which I was like, this never happens. This is weird. What's going on? And it's just not ideal unless you're willing to put crazy mod and relic investment on these guys. If you can do that, this team gets to be a pretty tough bastard to kill. Actually, I'm just not willing to do that, frankly. Like, you want to back it with relics, and not just relic 5. Like, you want like 8 on them, alongside some really fast mods and really high offense mods for arc troopers. So the other option, if you have Bad Batch and you don't know how to use them, you can give Echo and Tech to Shaak T on defense, and they'll get a lot more holds than you expect. They are surprisingly good, and Echo under Shaak T lead can be over 400 speed if you make him fast enough. 365 speed is tough to get him to, but it's within reach, certainly. I mean, at least if you've been working on mods and everything, but otherwise, I really do like, even with this low gear, guys, Hunter, Echo, Tech are workhorses for me in 3v3. You gotta kill 15 teams, and a lot of times this squad is killing like a full Separatist team or a First Order squad, and it's just opportunistic. It's all reliant on Tech being able to bridge fast enough. So remember, if you have his Zeta, normally his Zeta gives him 10 speed, because that's how many friends he has, how many Bad Batch friends he has. In 3v3, his Zeta only gives him 6 speed, so it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so next we have GL Nute, one of my very favorite teams still. I love putting it on defense on this account in the back zone. I think this one got me the most holds out of any team in 3v3 last season. Like, people just don't realize how strong it is. They see that Gear 11 Nute and think it's just going to be easy pickings, and it is not. These guys just scoop up the teams, and, B1 keeps them healed. Jango can't be killed. Keep in mind, folks, this whole team resets every time, so if you don't kill it, if you don't kill a character, then the whole team just gets all of its stacks, all of its everything back. Meanwhile, they just don't die in one hit. Remember, Jango has his revive from Bounty Hunter's Resolve. Nute has his save from, I don't know, like he sacrificed his nose for it or something, the coward save. And B1, of course, has stacks. And yeah, this team has great synergy. Still amazing, does amazingly, especially in the lower levels. In the higher levels, people find a lot of counters for it, but so the other thing about it, though, guys, is it also kills that Qui-Gon team if they don't target Nute right away. If they target Jango or B1 right away, then the Nute team kills the Qui-Gon team, which is also something to be thinking about. Now, Han and Chewie kind of get left out in the cold with CLS with his fun droid, annoying busybody companions, and so you want to get him a good leader. And I mean, Wedge is a requirement character, so a lot of people have Wedge. The thing I like about Wedge is his leadership gives them turn meter every time they crit, and because they're shooting, Han is shooting twice at the start of every fight, not to mention he gives them a nice offense, which they can really use. Well, Han can. Chewie doesn't actually do that much damage on his regular hits, but it's his special damage that he does. But yeah, he gets 15. They give 10% turn meter on a critical hit, and so Han gets 2 crits almost always, and so he does his 2 shots if he's fast enough. A lot of times Han will actually go next after that because he'll gain enough turn meter off of his bonus turn that he'll get 20% turn meter plus whatever speed he's got. So, and Chewie gets some if he gets to crit. It's a nice little setup, folks. Okay, Starkiller with EP and Mara. I mean, I think this is the most approachable one for most people. If you wanted to, you could do like a throwaway light side character with like Darth Vader and do like endless loop things to protect Vader a little bit more. If you have the right datacrons for it. Otherwise, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This team does some pretty good stuff. It kills a lot of Galactic Legends. This is actually the team I am considering most to helping me 2-shot Lord Vader squads. These guys might be able to help me kill the ads. I don't know. We'd have to test it. I'm not sure how well it works. We're gonna have to fly through these last teams, guys. My throat is starting to give way. So, we have Iden, make sure that you put her Omicron on her because it's really good. Put relics on her because she hits really hard. And really, you could almost, if you'd have a better use for Death Trooper somewhere, those intrepid souls who have the Krennic Omicron or something. I did in Stormtrooper can kind of just hang out alone and solo or duo a lot of teams. They do really well. Even a Gear 12 Stormtrooper does okay. Now, bounty hunter splits are important. I'm gonna start listening to emo folks and growing more acne on my face because I am squeaking like crazy. So the biggest downfall of Set 3, in my opinion, was the fact that Beskar Mando and Malgus, I guess to an extent as well, lost their datacrons. Beskar Mando, though, was key to being able to counter Lord Vader squads. We used to use this Fennec squad here to counter. We killed all of the Lord Vader squads last season. Wasn't a problem. We killed probably 8 Lord Vader squads with this. Even at just Relic 5 on Fennec, we did it. Without the Bamcron, however, being able to spam that protection, or the healing immunity, damage immunity, it's just not as workable. It does work as a backup to, like, if you can just get Lord Vader on his own, these guys can take him out. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if these relic levels work. I think they do, but we'll have to see. I think it works. If you don't want to do that, if you have your other plans for Lord Vader, that's great. Go do that. Leave Zareth alone. And instead use Beskar Mando with his buddies, Queel and IG. Use them for offense, and you can kill, like, Iden teams. Actually, you can take out all kinds of awesome stuff. Remember that Beskar Mando loves to kill Dooku. I think his favorite target is Dooku, because Dooku will stealth, and he'll have tanks around him, and he's like, haha, I'm stealthed. I have tanks that are taunting around me. You can't possibly get to me. And Bando says, hey, I have whistling birds. I can target you while you're in stealth, and you're very squishy, and you're dead, and I hope you're as cocky as that when you're dead. Oh, you're not? That's fine. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. I said good day. So, he says it just like that, because he's a teenager too. But here's the thing, guys. Then you want to use, if you're going to use the double tap on Lord Vader, use these guys for double taps. It's fine. That works. Then Bosk can then go on defense with, like, Zam and either Dengar or Boba. Boba if you want to scare people with a little more offense. Dengar if you wanted to kind of time them out. The squad can do some good things. If you don't want to do any of that, the Comfort Zone Bounty Hunter team, my very favorite guys, in 3v3, it's a powerhouse squad, is Bosk with Greef and Mando. And, just make sure they're modded, as usual. Kind of fast. They're not going to have Zam to boost their speed, but as long as Bosk and Greef can get their mass assists off, Mando's going to be gaining a lot of turn meter. It's just a good situation, folks. He can disintegrate things. They can, they have a tank, they have a dispel, they have a cleanse that, all of them can call to assist. It's a very consistent, high banner squad. They have good regeneration, really tough because of his lead. I really like that squad. It's the Comfort Zone. It's the only labeled squad in this whole presentation, guys. So, the Ackbar team with both Omis, which I maybe foolishly invested in. I love this team, though, guys. In 3's, wonderful team. Stormtrooper Han, a perfect fit for it. The only downfall is they can't dispel taunts. They have to kill the taunt straight up, and sometimes that's just really tough to do. Stormtrooper Han's got the best taunt in the game if it could stick around, and Admiral Ackbar with Leia here really makes sure that Han gets enough turns he can cycle through his taunt and keep it running. Last season I was using them to kill Relic Adrad teams. I guess we'll try that again this season and see how it goes. It gets a little dicey, but it's fun. So, as long as it's fun, who cares? Enfys Nest, especially with the Grid Cron, if you have that from Relic 4, really works really nicely to just solo teams. If not, you can throw Kira in. You can still throw Kira in as well, but a lot of people don't have her relic at this level. So, Nest on her own does some pretty good work. You can also just throw her on a defensive team to be annoying, just because she is. Just still put a Grit Cron on her so that she takes all of that protection she has, that eventually just disappears. Or she gets bonus protection, but, like for mine, she would get another 52,000 health on top of that. So she's 120k health. Really tough to one-shot a character like that if you have the Grit Cron on her. Now, Padme, you saw on, if you watched it, my main account, I'm going to be trying to use Padme with Gideon, the Gidme squad, if you will. And then you want a Galactic Republic special, support, because Gideon does his move that reduces everyone's turn meter. Padme's team is protected from that because of her leadership, but the byproduct is it also hands out a bunch of bonus protection, which she then and her team metabolize into a bunch of bonus courage. And once she goes and R2 goes, they're one-shotting people because they have like 25 stacks or something like that. It's quite impressive, actually. It's a really fun little synergy squad, in fact. Traya with Scion and Nihilus, you could swap out, like I said, you could swap out Scion for Thrawn if you wanted to, and that's actually the team that beats Jedi Revan team on defense, in fact. The squad is a your workhorse against like Inquisition and stuff as well, works really nicely. You can do, I mean, I don't know if Hux is a better lead or Kylo, but you want Hux to, you know, he's hanging out with his Zeta, and that means he's stopping everyone. You want, if it's a full First Order team, you're stopping people from gaining turn meter. It's a good-ish defensive squad. It'll surprise some people. Last season, they actually got a couple holds, which surprised everyone, I think, with all the low relic levels there. Geos, I put on defense. They never get holds either. Unless you have a compelling reason, though. I mean, you can put them on defense. On offense, they're just so hard to get max banners with, and I mean, if you have a high relic team, then I guess go for it. On the other hand, I don't know. Geos have never really been that interesting to me, to be honest. I'll just be very honest. You could also just use the Geo Brute Alpha as a tank. I mean, like a plug-and-play tank, because she summons the Brute. He summons the Brute, whatever. Okay, so this Night Sisters team kills General Grievous teams. It's crazy. I did it like 4 times last season and laughed riotously every time. The Ewok team is not good. This is probably my favorite version of it, especially because I have the Omicron. You want a really fast Peplu, and I think I took some of his mods off because I don't care. But Reed is unique if you care about that secret. We have the Fin Poe squad, who just keep in mind, guys, this team doesn't get holds unless your Finn is fast enough to go first, and my Finn is gear 10, and I bet I have some pretty bad mods on him. Let's see. Yeah, he is not fast. 260, he's gear 10, like I said, and I can't spare gear for him right now. Unfortunately, that's just not in the books, though. What I can do is request this piece of gear from my guildmates, who are awesome at sometimes hooking me up. So, anyways, this Fin Poe, it at the top levels it's kind of solved at this point. At the lower levels, if you have a fast enough Finn, like, and I'm talking like you want like 320 or 330 or even 340 speed on Finn if you can, the higher the better, and then this team will take some people by surprise still. And then finally, if you get desperate, you can use Bo-Katan with Sabine and armor. Probably doesn't do much, but you could always try. So anyways, folks, those are the main teams that I'm going to be using this 3v3 season for my alt. I'm excited to play it and see what you guys are doing. Let me know if I missed any teams, what comps you prefer, if there's a better build or something. I would love to hear it, guys. That being said, I'm going to bed. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth squeaks like a child.